And sing along. Welcome to the top of the fourth wall, where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Rusty, you're not the smartest. I felt that you're not an artist. Anyone's had a bad comic published, it can be your turn. Linkara, he is a man. Watch, wears a pretty hat. Linkara, he has a magic gun. Where do you purchase that? Linkara, coins, robots, Amazon, trust Linkara. This comic sucks. Linkara. Can tell now if it's storyline or not, and if you don't like storyline, well, tough, just watch the review and close the video. Alright, you ready to go? Yeah. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to Genesis of Atop the Fourth Wall Live! If this is your first time seeing Atop the Fourth Wall in live or recorded form, please be aware that your cries and pleas for mercy will go unanswered. So it's best to just conserve your strength until the right moment when you can leap out and throttle me later. As you can see, I am reading from a script that I have not practiced beforehand, so I apologize if I stammer, stutter, or slur my words. Plus, I'm kind of getting over being sick, so that's, contributing to that too.
Fine, the scotch will help.
Scotch will definitely help. My transparent scotch that resembles a tasteless, odorless liquid that's required for life.
Crystal scotch.
And I know that many of you like to shout out your own jokes and riffs at the comic, but please be aware, I am recording this. So if your remarks are not funny, you're being not funny in front of thousands of people. So there's been some big things happening as of late. A popular cultural icon, beloved by children and most especially girls everywhere, is being brought back and given the treatment it deserves without poor changes and bad dubbing that water down a fine, magical product. Yep, that product that involves sailors, if you know what I mean. So, of course, today we're going to be looking at Godzilla. Nah, I'm kidding, it's Sailor Moon. And Magic Knight Ray Earth. And Parasite. And Ice Blade. Okay, I probably need to unpack this one. Yeah, we're looking at the first Sailor Moon story. However, the scans I have from it come from this, Nick's Zine, a manga anthology that was published by Tokyo Pop for several years. And while codenamed Sailor V technically is the real start of the series, the scans I had for that were of poor quality, so we're doing this instead. I mean, this is the start of the more popular series, and that's why we're doing this. Yeah. Anyway, we begin with this far more appropriate cover, where Sailor Moon is telling us she'll punish up people in the name of the moon. And in the name of Spider-Man, given how one of her hands looks. We truly open with a newspaper. Sailor V saves the day. She snags the thugs. Oh my God, new petitions against tax! She saved us $2 million on our car insurance. There's also The Mixed Revolution Begins. Wow, Sailor Moon was really ahead of its time, able to predict a particular magazine's creation in the future. We meet our hero Serena, or Usagi. Oh no, wait, Bunny. Yes, we went for the literal translation of Usagi, since the girl is oh-so rabbit-like anyway. But with her long ears, propensity for carrots, and ability to have sex and breed like crazy. Well, I suppose that last one works if you read hentai doujinshis, but we're going by official stuff here. Also, as we see here, Bunny is trying desperately to get herself ready for school because she's late, even to the point of squeezing out toothpaste to hideous extremes. She is going to have that stuff splattered all over her face by the time she gets to school. And then it will look like a hentai dojinshi. And it seems we were too soon to discard the Serena name, since her narrative captions inform us that she is indeed Serena, but everyone calls her Bunny. Because it's funnier, I will continue to refer to her as Bunny. Or rather, at some point, I hope to make a Night of the Lepus joke, except with Serena in place of the killer rabbits. She admits in her narration that she's kind of a crybaby, as exemplified by her whining about how she doesn't want to go to school. However, I think she's got bigger issues of clumsiness, since she trips over something. Our dimmer is broken. Okay.
I checked it. I turned it off, actually.
Oh, he turned the lights off altogether and they're still on. Yeah, that's what I thought. But anyway, so I'm sorry. I do apologize if none of you can see these very well. Really, I do. I'm sorry. Anyway, I lost my place now. Okay, kind of crybaby, blah, blah, blah. All right. However, I think she's got bigger issues of clumsiness since she trips over something. And that something happens to be a cat. And a black cat, too. Sorry, Bunny, 7 years bad dubbing. Oh, but I kid. I actually do like the original dub cast of the show, just not the dub writing. Remember, kids, it's okay to appreciate some parts of something and not all things about it. Sailor Linkara says. Bunny picks up the poor cat, which scratches at her face, no doubt realizing who she is and wants to avoid the fate of being her guardian pet. But Bunny also spots a Band-Aid covering the cat's forehead. Removing the Band-Aid apparently gives the cat super leaping powers, and it jumps onto Bunny's head and then away, revealing the moon-shaped symbol on the cat's head. I'm gonna call you Mooney. But Bunny is late, so cannot contemplate what this means, instead rushing off to school. We then meet our supporting characters, who won't actually have any significant impact on the series itself, like her teacher, Miss Haruna, Dr. Insano, and Molly, whose Japanese name I do not remember, nor do I particularly care about right now. True fact, when I was watching this as a kid, I was convinced Molly was going to become Sailor Jupiter, since there was so much focus on her as a character in the show, and I thought their hair color was kind of similar. But nah, she's just here to shame Bunny on how much she eats. Speaking of, over lunch, they talked with this random girl about the mysterious Sailor V, who managed to nab a bunch of thieves, as we saw in the newspaper. Dr. Insane Melvin has this insightful remark. With all the bizarre and hideous crimes nowadays, the news is more action-packed than a Schwarzenegger movie. Yeah, but not as many great one-liners. Let off some steam, Barrow. However, the conversation turns away from the superhero and to the jewels themselves, with the girls all wanting to get their hands on said jewelry. Oh, but wait! It seems Molly's mother owns a big jewelry store. And Bunny makes sure to include in tiny print that she loves pearls. I really hope that's meant to be a mini thought bubble, since otherwise she just said, "Doesn't your mom own a jewelry store? I like pearls." It's the equivalent of going, "Are you a big fan of football? I like shoulder pads." So because her mother's store is holding a big sale, they decide to go check it out. Mind you, I was under the impression they were in the middle of school, but whatever. They're teenage girls in an anime or manga. School is just there to check out the strange new students and then never actually pay attention to the lessons.
So, regular high school.
At the store, they spot some jewels that are, of course, ridiculously expensive, like a ruby worth 10 million bucks. The one next to it's a yellow diamond. Too bad those aren't on sale. They just like to put those jewels out to mock people. Molly's mother greets them and says for them to find something they like. Bunny, special discount. I like you better than my own daughter, Bunny. However, something nefarious is afoot, as we see Molly's mother thinking about how she needs more energy. More! So much more that the exclamation marks are on a separate line. More! However, the walking ball of youthful metabolism that is Bunny can't afford anything since she spent all her allowance money. She crinkles up her bad test score from earlier and then tosses it behind her. Right into the face of Japanese Corey Hart. A.K.A. Mamoru, A.K.A. Darien, A.K.A. totally not Tuxedo Mask. Why would you even think that? Shut up! Also, he calls her Cowtails because he's not particularly imaginative. Even Bunny has to point out that they're pigtails and he's an idiot. Look, cow, pig, whatever. The point is, you're not a rabbit. Also, just because this guy is in sunglasses is wearing a tuxedo out in the open, he's totally not Tuxedo Mask. You guys get the weirdest ideas sometimes. Or even come up with these crazy thoughts.
Tuxedo Mask doesn't wear sunglasses.
Well, have you ever seen you and Tuxedo Mask in the same place?
Yeah, just shut up. A rather large jewelry store. Maybe I can find it here. The Silver Imperium Crystal. The brilliant deductive strategy of Mamoru, everybody. Just go into every single jewelry store he can find to try to hunt down the crystal he's looking for. What? How many jewelry stores can there really be, right? On her way home, Bunny stops at an arcade to play the Sailor V fighter game because apparently Minako or Mina or whatever made a licensing deal for her superheroine persona. I can dig it. She meets Andrew, who is yet another supporting character with little or no purpose, as far as I know anyway. I'm not familiar enough with the manga to say for certain. And the cat again, who has apparently been hanging out here for the last few days. Because when you're charged with finding a lost princess and a bunch of superheroines, it's important you spend a lot of time in the arcade. Bunny is briefly locked out of her house by her mother because of her bad test score. Ha! Child abuse. And we soon see that the jewelry that's been sold to people is zapping them of their energy. Me personally, I would have just absorbed people's energy from a gym or something where people are already expanding energy and effort, but hey, that won't turn as tiny a profit as jewelry. However, evil Molly's mom has apparently been gloating out loud or something since Molly finds her in the darkness making this face. Which just makes it look like she's been looking at dirty websites and her father caught her in the act. Meanwhile, Bunny is awoken by the cat. This cat talks?
It is Blair!
That's right, Bunny. It's a talking cat! I would pay so much money for Luna in the new dub to be voiced by Eric Roberts.
Ghost cats!
But yeah, Luna introduces herself and says she's been searching for Bunny. Thanks for removing my band-aid. Without that thing on, I couldn't talk or investigate. Well, naturally, her forehead has a lot to do with her ability to speak. And search. It totally wasn't because she just wanted to hang out at the arcade. I mean, yeah, I guess covering the moon symbol is what it did, but does that mean that if Bunny wanted to shut Luna up, all she'd have to do is put her hand over her forehead? Bunny at first thinks that this is a dream, but Luna says she'll prove it to her by presenting her with a brooch. Wow, I love it. It's so pretty. Did you keep the receipt? Luna explains that Bunny is the chosen warrior who must find and defeat their enemy, their nondescript enemy, and then they will search for their queen. However, Bunny is kind of distracted by shiny things. Luna, the brooch is glowing! And thus she tells Bunny to yell out the transformation phrase. By the power of Grayskull, wake up! And now she has become Sailor Moon, even with her own little mask that she will never wear again in the series. Flash! Ah! Savior of the universe! Taking off the mask, she can see images of Molly in trouble in it. There's a movie in my goggles. The early prototype for Google Glass. Molly screams that her mother is attacking her. I'm I'm not your mother, little girl. Your mother's tied up in the basement. I didn't just kill her because... give me your energy! Oh, and Tuxedo Mask is nearby watching and being absolutely useless. However, the real hero arrives, Bunny, and the demonic imposter demands to know who she is. Luna helpfully meows at the moon. A champion of justice and defender against evil. I'm Sailor Meow! No, of course, she's Sailor Moon, with her bizarrely thin midsection and rather long arms. Unfortunately, the Yoma is not impressed. She summons everyone whose energy has been drained to come to her aid, acting as zombies. Some of them are already nearby and attack with broken bottles. Bunny gets knocked over and she starts bleeding, pretty much indicating to her that this is not a dream. That being said, she fell down and scraped her knee. I know I shouldn't be thinking too hard about this, but later in the series she survives huge energy blasts and getting knocked through glass and windows without drawing blood, but falling down makes her bleed? Eesh, these powers are touchy.
They didn't knock them down with those energy blasts.
I think the going through the window thing would do that.
That's ground.
She screams that she doesn't want to be doing this, and her voice is apparently so piercing that it shatters glass. What's more, her screams are so high-pitched that it knocks the zombies over and disrupts the control of the Yoma. Also, Tuxedo Mask tells her not to cry and that now is her chance. Still not actually doing anything himself, nor even introducing himself. I do love how in her first battle, Sailor Moon is saved by the power of whining. And now it's time for her finisher move, Moon Frisbee! I am not kidding. Now, Bunny, use your tiara, shout Frisbee and throw it! Hell, Bunny actually added the moon part to the name. The name of the attack was just Frisbee, according to Luna. Unfortunately, that addition does not help its name. Tuxedo Mask then leaves, having accomplished his goal of just standing there. But Bunny is immediately enamored with him as soon as he says his name. And watching from a black orb is Saruman of many colors. Or rather, Bishi Saruman, aka Jediite. And so our manga ends with Molly talking about how she was saved by Sailor V's partner and how she didn't get a good look at them. Nor that it would have made a difference since the law of flimsy cognition applies to this series most of all. And poor Bunny has realized that it was not a dream and must now experience the joys and horrors of her friends dying, her future daughter being irritating, creepy Pegasus, lesbian/cousins, and nudity in her final battle. This manga is, of course, a classic. Despite my snark, it's still a fairly solid start, despite the eventual pointlessness of many of the supporting cast, and our hero was able to defeat the Yoma all by her lonesome without Tuxedo Face Concealer tossing out his deadly flowers. And that's all I got for you, so thank you, everybody!